morning, everybody, or good afternoon. So I'm going to be doing a video on the quiz from yesterday. So the first question is, what is the ratio between the length of a 400-meter race and the length of a 1,600-meter race? Well, we can write a ratio such as this. Now, when you have big numbers like this with lots of zeros, you can actually chop off the zeros here. So you can chop off those and those, which will give you 4 out of 16. And when I simplify this, it'll give me a 1 out of 4. Problem 2, this was a very challenging problem. The ratio of boys to girls in Mrs. Wilson's class is 4 to 3. 4 to 3 boys to girls. If there are 28 total students, how many boys are in her class? So the way that I would do it is like this. Can you see? Yes. Let's pretend that this 4 and 3 is a small class of 7. I added the 4 plus 3, and so there's 7 total students. So the ratio of, we want to figure out how many boys are here. The ratio of boys to girls, boys to total is going to be, the total number of students is 7. And the number of boys is 4. Now, I'm given the total here, so I can put the total number of students here in this larger class, and then x here. 4 times 28. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 20 is 80. Plus, that's going to be 112. Now, that's this multiplication, and then I'll multiply this over here. So I have this, 4 times 28 is equal to 7 times x. 4 times 28 is going to be 112, and that's going to be equal to 7 times x. Now I divide by 7, and 7 goes into 11 one time, minus 4, bring down the 2, and 7 goes into 42 6 times. So x is 16. There are 16 boys. Okay, for problem 3, a cookie recipe calls for 3 cups of sugar and yields 24 cookies. So it could be something like this. This is one ratio, one comparison. How much sugar will be needed to make 3 dozen cookies? So 3 dozen, this is the number of cookies, but one thing we need to know is a dozen, 1 dozen is equal to 12. So 3 dozen is going to be 36. How I got that? 3 times 12. 36, so we're trying to figure out how many cups of sugar we need for 36 cookies. And then this is the x number of cups. We'll cross multiply. So on this side we have 24x, and this side we have 3 times 36. 3 times 36 is 90, let's do multiplication. 18 and 90, 108 is equal to 24x. Now we'll do the division. 24 goes into 108 4 times. It's going to be 96 minus 2, 1, point, bring down the 0, and 24 goes into 120 5 times. So my division is 4.5, which is also 4 1/2 cups. Next problem. Carlos saves aluminum cans to sell to the recycling center. He recently recycled 43 pounds and received $23.65. How much money would he get at this rate for recycling 200 pounds? So, am I going to put the 200 here or here? Well, this is dollars here, and this is pounds, so the 200 is going to be put here. And this here is going to be X dollars. Now, I think Because these answers are fairly far apart, I know that I can round one of these answers. I can make it 43 over 24. 43 over 24 is equal to 200. My answer is going to be an approximate. It's going to be an estimate, but I think it's still going to give me the right answer. So we have this. 24 times 200 is equal to 43 times x. 24 times 200 is going to be 480. You can go ahead and pause the video and do the multiplication if you'd like. I'd like to keep the video fairly brief though. And 43x. Divide by 43 will give me x. X is equal to, I'll do this division over here. 43 goes into 48 one time. Bring down the 0. 43 goes into 50. Another one time. 43. 1, 7. Five, yeah. 1. Sorry, okay, and oh, there we go. And 43 goes into 7, 0 times. So the answer is going to be J110. This division here, it will give me 110, or around 110. Another way that I can look at this division here, if I'm doing, how many times is 43 going to 480? I know instantly it's going to be 110, because 43, how many times 43 goes into 430 is going to be 10 times. What did I do wrong? Oh, I see what I did wrong. I'm sorry. This should be 4,800. 24 times 200 is 4,800. So that's why. Okay, now I bring down the 0, and I would have gotten 111, but it's closest to 110. My apologies, my apologies. Now, if I was dividing 43 into 4,300, my answer would be 100, because I'm just adding the 2 zeros. So if it's something that's a little bit bigger, like 4,800, I know, therefore, that this has to be a little bit bigger, and 110 seems most reasonable. Okay, the Viking football team won 4 out of every 5 games, so they won. This is how many they won, and this is the total here. If they played 20 games total, how many games did they lose? So what we can do is solve for how many they won, because this is how many they won, and then subtract from 20, because you either have to lose or win. So it's going to be like this. 5 times x is equal to 4 times 20. And that's going to give me 80 is equal to 5x divided by 5. X is equal to 16. Now a lot of you put 16, but this is 1 games. This is the number of won games. So if I want the number of lost games, I just subtract 16 from 20, which gives me 4. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.